Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Growth Grit of a BW 30 under 30 star. We have with us Saksham Madan, Principal Associates at Shardul Amarchand Mangaldas and Company. With a career spanning top law firms like IndusLaw, Luthra and Luthra, Saksham has carved a niche in the corporate legal space through sheer consistency, sharp thinking, and an unwavering drive for excellence. A proud GNLU alumni and sometimes someone who's journeyed from multiple internships to the upper ranks of corporate law, Saksham represents the new era of lawyers, grounded, versatile, and quietly trailblazing. So let's dive into the story behind the suit. So welcome Saksham to this coffee conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great opportunity for me to express myself and share whatever journey I've taken so far with whoever it can help. So excited to be here.
Wow. So let me explain you the flow. There are three rounds: professional, personal, and a surprise rapid fire round where you will be in the hot seat and you
Sure.
have to be witty, fun, and quick. And here's your gift inspiration Legal AI 101, where everyone is talking about. And so let's begin. Friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and Legal Tech Evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So my first question, Saksham, how was the journey shaped up and what were the key defining moments you had?
I think if I want to describe my journey, it is anything but conventional. As a first generation lawyer, picking up law was in itself a giant leap of faith. And then I moved to Mumbai when I got my first job, a city that I'd never set my foot in. So it was daunting, but the path was made lighter by the people that came along the way. As My partner Nishant has been my mentor since day one. My colleagues, who are now my family members, helped ease the chaos of the city for me. So yeah, so the journey has been eventful, but has its as every journey has its ups and downs. But it's been pretty smooth so far with the right set of people that I'm around. In terms of defining moments, I think every step where trust translated into some sort of a responsibility stands out. So when I was given the first opportunity to draft my own contract, when I was given the first opportunity to negotiate on a transaction, each milestone I think stands out and carries its own sense of validation. But there's nothing more fulfilling than letting your work speak on your behalf.
Wow, beautiful. So let's dive deep into the conversation, Saksham.
Yeah,
Corporate law can be intense. What's
yeah.
your strategy for staying sharp and consistent under pressure?
I think for me, it comes down to being having a solid base of fundamentals. In corporate law, I think the fundamentals are often uh, treated as they're very underrated, but it's everything. If your core understanding of law is clear and sorted, no matter how complex the problem is, the answers within your reach, right? It's then about applying that those basics into with clarity and sometimes a little bit with a little bit of more creativity and innovation to arrive at a solution. So I think consistency under pressure comes from that solid foundation of basics.
Wow. Okay. So, Saksham, how do you balance the need to be commercially pragmatic while
Mhm.
staying rooted in legal precision?
Um, I think for me, it's about understanding that commercial pragmatism and legal is not mutually exclusive, actually. It complements one another, right? The goal, I think, for both is to protect the client interest, but also to get the deals done, right? So the legal perspective can, give you the ability to assess the risk, but it's actually the commercial objective which will tell you which battles are to be fought and which are to be not to be fought. Um, the ultimate aim, as I said, is to get the deals overboard, right? So I think it's a having both legal and business perspective, help you understand what lines to hold on to and what where you need to find the middle ground to while at the same time protecting the core. So I think they're mutually exclusive, complement one another, and I don't see them as very different.
Wow. So, Saksham, let's go memory down the lane.
Yeah.
Is there a particular transaction or deal that tested your limits but helped you grow the most?
I think the one transaction that comes to my mind was when we were advising Paytm on its sale of entertainment business to Zomato. So I was coming after a month long break after my surgery, and I was actually advised not to speak at for a period of more than 15 minutes at a stretch. I was still on medication, but the team and the deal needed all hands on deck, and therefore that actually drove me to support my team, be in Delhi for like a month or so, intense negotiations, long nights, but eventually when it actually when the deal got closed, with the commercial objectives of both sides met, that was something which was truly remarkable. That experience really pushed me beyond what I thought I was capable of and reminded me what this profession truly is about.
Wow. So, Saksham, do you have a personal code or non negotiable when it comes to client relationships?
Um, Honestly, I can't think of any on top of my head, but I think one thing that I swear by is clear communication, right? There
Yeah.
needs to be a very clear line of communication between the client and yourself to actually, address the problem, right? It's like when you know what the end game is, the Avengers can assemble to tackle the problem, right? So for me, communication is not just a tool; it's like that infinity gauntlet, which can, bring in the all the Avengers together to basically solve the issue at hand and getting things over the line.
Wow. So, Saksham, you have navigated the cultures of several leading law firms.
Yeah.
So, how do you adapt to new work environments and what mindset shifts you have to bring in?
So fortunately for me, I've always moved with my entire team. So it has made the cultural transition a much smoother. We've carried the same work ethic and camaraderie with us. Of course, each firm comes with its own set of challenges, and especially when you're moving to a larger setup, it can be daunting. And you feel the need to create a name for yourself or your identity for yourself. But we, as a moving with the team has helped that ease of that transition process. Um, as far as my leadership style is concerned, I think from whenever I've taken up the leadership role within my team, I think I've been very consistent. My team exactly knows what I prefer, what is something that I focus on, my priorities, my expectation. So yeah, so nothing has changed in that as well.
Wow. So, let's go to the next question. You received the BW Legal 30 under 30 in 2022. How did it influence your approach to work and visibility in the profession?
Honestly, I think the recognition didn't change much in terms of how I approach things. As I said earlier, I think the focus has always been and continues to be client centric, getting the things done, problem solving, working efficiently. At the end of the day, I think we are all facilitators, right? Just cogs in the wheel, helping the clients reach the destination more efficiently and effectively. Uh, that said, I'd be actually be lying if I say that it didn't help with the visibility. It did open some doors within the profession, with my peers, with the clients. It gives you that quiet sense of validation, and obviously, perhaps gives you a little bit of more credibility when you enter a room where you'd be otherwise struggling to find your footing. So it did help in terms of visibility, but when it comes to the approach to work, I think I've been pretty consistent with what I've been following, and I still do.
Wow. So as you said in our warm-up call,
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
uh, you have been fortunate to with the seniors going to different conferences.
yes.
So how important is going to conferences and networking?
I think it's pretty very, very important. Of course, in the beginning, you will feel like you're lost, right? And you don't belong in that space. But eventually, over time, I think, we underestimate the importance of networking and people, meeting people. Because when you meet them the next time, so the first conference that I went to, I didn't know anyone, right? So I had only my partner to guide me, and he basically took me along, introduced me to a lot of people that he knew, a lot of new people. And eventually, the next time when I went to the same conference, people recognized me. So that itself, gave you that sense of validation, right? That maybe you're doing something right. You're speaking the right things in front of them, and you're just not lost on the way. So it's very, very important, and I think it's very, very important to start early because I see a lot of people struggle. Eventually when it's time to do it, when there's a pressure to do it, and then when you're thrown right to do things the right way. But I think if you start early, you can learn from your mistakes and grow.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So, Saksham, as someone who's climbed the ladder steadily, what qualities do you think young lawyers often underestimate?
Okay, so to reiterate, I think they often underestimate the importance of basics. I'll keep repeating that, right? It's something that I've emphasized earlier, something that our partner, our team, believes truly and honestly in it, right? So we have mandatory reading for our first year associates. When they join the team, there are mandatory reading because it's that foundation. Once the foundation is solid, everything can otherwise can build in naturally.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get distracted with the pace of the law firm life or with the pressure of the law firm life. But if your fundamentals are clear and if you mastered the fundamentals, I think the journey becomes much more easy later on.
Wow. So, Saksham, let's make you what do you say, uh, professor for a day. If you were to teach a law class,
Yeah.
what topic would be and why?
Honestly, I don't see myself as a teacher. I leave that job to the amazing professors that are out there in the country. Um, However, if I were to teach one lesson, that would be to how to integrate practical aspects of law to the core values of law. As a law student in law schools, you focus a lot on learning the statutes, learning the case laws, but eventually what truly matters is how you apply that knowledge to the real world scenarios, and bridging that gap early can truly create a difference in how you prepare for your next role. So if something that I can take up a class on would be to the integration of real world scenarios with the law.
Wow. So, my last question, how has technology helped you and your experience in using different legal tech products?
I think technology has been a game changer, fundamentally, in eliminating a lot of work that we wasted time on earlier. I would say waste because it's not required as lawyers. You're meant to give professional services and not focus on generating documents after another. I think with a lot of AI tools which are out there right now, with as basic as like a compare doc, right, to as advanced as an AI integration tool, I think it has helped uh, focus more on the things that actually matter, the core things, and leaving aside the rest of the grunt work and the tasks that knowing that you have the technology at the back end to take care of that, help you focus on your time also very, very efficiently and focus on the core things, strategy, giving the right advice to the client.
Wow, beautiful. So let's go to next round and understand Saksham as a person.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family and your formative years.
So I grew up in a very middle class home in Jaipur, Rajasthan. My grandparents actually migrated from Pakistan during the partition. They left everything which was ours there to start, anew. From them, of course, I learned the values of sacrifice, resilience, and staying grounded. So that was my formative years, and that has influenced both my personal life and my professional life journey. Um, Schooling was again in Jaipur in itself. I went to the same school right from my kindergarten to my 12th grade, and then law school happened. So the journey has been great. Learn to stay grounded, learn the core values of sacrifice and resilience from my family.
Wow, beautiful, yeah. So, Saksham, why did you select to go to GNLU and
Yeah.
how has experience been?
The decision was left on the ranks, right? We, as a law aspirant, I think you'll take up whatever is thrown at your way. Of course, the journey was great at GNLE. It was my first experience of independence. Once you move into any university, I would say I think the thing that you are most exposed to um, is basically how the cosmopolitan environment, right? You're constantly exposed to diverse culture about different ways of life. So you're constantly, learning new perspectives about your own life and how to live it. Ultimately, it was the people who made sure that during those 5 years that I was safe, I was sound, I learned a lot from my peers and my colleagues out there.
Wow. So, Saksham, when you're not buried in contracts, how do you recharge?
I think I've picked up a lot over the last 3, 4 years. I think I've been lucky to have a very good set of friends who just push and not just confine ourselves to law and contracts per se. Um, so I think I've been introduced and exposed to diving now. I go to I scuba dive. I've been trying to be consistent with surf lessons in here in Mumbai. So every weekend, I think Sunday, I think I try and when the season is on to try and go for surfing. I think one more thing that I picked up and I've been consistent with is pub quizzes. I was always into trivia and everything, and I just found the right set of people to go and like do pub quizzes and trivia nights with them.
Beautiful. That's interesting. So there are other coffee speakers from the law background who are
Yeah,
into scuba diving, surfing. Wow. So let's have some fireside chat and
sure.
discover how did it start and how is the journey and what are the preparations to go for. Because one of the coffee speakers said, "Well, you have to get trained before you go for scuba diving."
Yeah. No, of
So
course. Yeah.
one of the coffee speakers is into paragliding.
Oh, that's amazing. That's something
Yeah,
which is very, very interesting.
yeah, and he's from Ukraine.
That's
So, and
amazing.
one of the coffee speakers, a senior person, yeah, he, paragliding, he did around in Kashmir area.
That's
Wow, people
that's
take that kind of for the hobbies, the creative pursuits, they go to such length to
yeah.
keep that motivation and excitement in their life.
No, absolutely. I think,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's very, very interesting. As a like, it's important also to recharge yourself. So whatever
Yeah.
suits you. As a like, if it's something quaint and relaxing, you can just go for that. If
Wow.
there's adventure that excites you, go for that. Whatever helps you recharge, you should do that.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's go memory down the lane. What's a childhood memory that still makes you smile on tough days?
I think so. I have a twin brother, so my childhood has been with him. So I think everything that we've done together, every way that we've troubled our parents. I think that brings a smile on my face even now.
So, any message you want to give using the Coffee Conversation platform?
I think having a twin is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you'll be thrown with those general questions every day in your life. Whoever meets you, even at this age, I'm thrown into people just throw those general random questions at you. But I think you'll have to learn to embrace it. It's a beautiful gift that is out there, as I like to always have someone with you, no matter what, who's been, in your life throughout. You can share your experience, your ups, your
Yeah.
downs. You don't need anyone else, as in you want to go for a movie, you have someone. You want to go for a drink, you have someone. You don't need to wait for someone else to confirm.
That's beautiful. So, what's his name and what is he doing?
His name is Akshay. He's also a lawyer. In fact, yeah, he works for Ketan and Company.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah,
So, well, stay together in Mumbai?
yes,
Achha,
yes,
he's also in Mumbai based.
yes, yes, yeah.
And family also have moved to Mumbai?
No, no. Unfortunately, family has not moved. I've been trying to convince them to move. Eventually, I think over a period of 2, 3 years, I'll be able to convince them to move. They're very, very comfortable in their in Jaipur, much more spacious, much less chaotic. So they're very, very happy out
Yeah, yeah. I know, I know. Okay. So, what's a family ritual or tradition that means a lot to you no matter how busy life gets?
I think it's that Diwali puja. I think I only, I don't get a chance, as in like both me and my brother don't get a chance to, visit home a lot. I think one thing which has been consistent since we moved away from home is to go back home during Diwali, no matter what it is. And we
Mhm.
try and spend as much time together during, those 2, 3 days as we could. Possibly, of course, with work, there could be times where you're away and on your, system. But I think that one puja wherein, during the Diwali night when you're together, and we've been doing that since our very childhood. So that's something, which really, really makes me happy.
Wow. So, Saksham, suppose you had 1 week away from work, what would
Yeah.
you like to do and why?
I think travel more. I talked about, learning a lot from different perspectives. So travel a lot, meet a lot of new people on the way, learn their ways of life, learn their perspective of living the life. So that's something that I would, really, really enjoy. Unfortunately, I've not taken a holiday for a very long time. It's been almost 1.5 years that I've not taken a holiday, but that's something that I'm looking forward to do this year. Visit more
Wow.
countries and just learning new ways of life.
So, what would be your travel plans? And I will
Yeah.
check in at the end of year, December. So, this is what a coffee does.
Yeah. No, no, of course. As in, like, so I think there's one country which, I really, really want to go to is Israel. In fact, I made plans to go there like a couple of years back as well, but the unfortunate incident happened on October 7th. My tickets were booked for October the 11th, so couldn't go there. But I think it's something that I want to do. I love history, and I think what better country to be in or city to be in where the origins of three different religions are there,
Yeah.
or not origins per se, but like the main aspects of the religions are there.
Hmm.
It has great diving sites as well to add to it.
That's beautiful. So, now, if your friends had to describe you in 3 words, what would it be?
I think I'll let them answer.
So, we'll make a call like KB
You
said.
can,
I'm thinking of starting this.
yeah, you should actually. I can't answer as in like I obviously,
Diplomatic, yeah. Coming from a lawyer.
yeah. So
Nice one,
I'll
nice.
let them answer, or probably you can answer after our conversation, whatever you've gathered about me.
No, no, that your friends will answer. I'll start the section soon.
Sure,
That's
sure.
interesting. Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
phone a friend.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
Uh, Personally, as I mentioned, would like to travel more. Right, so that's on top of my list. Staying healthy, staying fit, because work sometimes distract you from the most fundamentals of staying fit and staying healthy. So that's been something that I've been working on. Fortunately, this year I've been regular with exercises and doing whatever works best for me. So that's something that I'm looking for in my personal space. Professionally, of course, to grow, to get more exposure, to do bigger deals, work with a host of clients. Anything which challenges me is something that I'm looking forward to professionally.
Wow, beautiful. So my last one that you have to answer.
Yeah.
It's googly one. Describe Saksham in one line.
uh, I don't know, as in, like, how would you describe yourself? I think I'll describe myself as a recent extrovert. Um, you know, um, I'm, you know, I believe in reciprocity. Right. So if someone who's giving, I'm way more giving. My friends would, attest to that. Um, so I think someone who's just, you know, you have that phrase in India, in Hindi, "Yaro ka yaar." So I would say that's something that describes me the best.
Beautiful, beautiful. So keep a smile in whatever condition you are, and I like that.
Sure.
Okay, so let's go to the next round and put you in the hot seat. So let you get the feeling you had coffee with Karan. So uh, yeah, your go-to comfort food.
I think anything that my mom makes, but if I have to pick one, it'll be a rajma chawal.
Wow. So Jaipur winters or Mumbai monsoons?
I think winters don't suit me anymore, so I'll stick to Mumbai monsoons for now.
Okay. Your favorite color?
It's blue.
Wow. So what's one dish that instantly transports you home to Jaipur?
I think it'll be pyaz ki kachori, the
Wow.
staple fast food of Rajasthan.
Wow. Okay. So since you have stayed in Mumbai, so what is your favorite Mumbai dish?
Ah, surprisingly, I love pav bhaji and different variations of
Oh,
that. Yeah. So yeah, that's something that I really, really look forward to. I, in fact, like, even like when I'm not in Bombay, I go to other cities. I would like to try and, like, see how they've done their take on pav bhaji.
so which is a favorite place to have pav bhaji in Mumbai?
In Mumbai, I think there are a lot of places who've done their own take of pav bhaji. So I think Mask is a place who've done their own take, very different take on pav bhaji. Then your normal, Bombay canteen, has once in a while done their own take of pav bhaji. Yeah. Otherwise,
Wow.
I'll stick to basic. I think, your chapati, pav bhaji, nothing can beat that.
Okay. Have you been to apna ye Sardar?
No, I have not. I've been, a lot of friends have told me
It's
that's
a good one,
blasphemy.
but
Yeah,
lots of apna ye
butter.
maska ka
Yeah,
butter.
yeah, yeah.
If you're a buttery fan, then go there.
Yeah, no. So a lot of people tell me it's blasphemy that you like something and you've not been to the that place. But hopefully this
And
year, yeah.
VT pe Canon ki pav bhaji.
Okay, that's
You
pretty
have to
close
have
to
it
Bombay.
standing,
Yeah,
khade khade, and in that lane
yeah.
you get that apna ye Kalingar ka sharbat also.
Oh, great. I think that's pretty close to
So come, I'll
Offline.
take you to
Done,
street food walk
done. I'll
because
be.
I'm also foodie.
Yeah,
Okay.
would really
Chalo.
really enjoy that. Yeah.
Early bird or night owl?
Night out, but trying to
Wow.
be an early bird.
Wow. Uh, Best piece of advice received.
Um, just be yourself.
Beautiful.
You're the best as when you're yourself.
Tea or coffee to recharge?
Sorry,
Tea or coffee to recharge?
coffee.
Yeah, so you're the coffee chef.
Yeah, coffee. There you go.
So you did well, and here's a book
Thank you so
which
much.
we autograph and send to you. Uh, so friends, it was a lovely conversation. As Saksham said, Ke bhai, he's a recent extrovert, but I disbelieve. So, friends, watch this episode as Saksham has taken us on a journey. Ke stick with your mentor, your senior, and you would build that trust, do the deliverables, and he has been in this journey. So, all the young legal professional, watch this episode. Okay, being part of the team, so you imbibe the culture, you imbibe the ethos, so many things, and you grow along with the team. That team becomes your family. So coming from Jaipur, and that value is instilled by his parents. So he's carrying forward in the what do you say corporate world. So this is what a coffee speaker brings to the table. get inspired by Saksham journey, all those young legal professionals out there, and he's developed so many अपना ये creative, sorry, sports, uh, going to for water sports, which needs a daring, and he has taken that a big leap step. So he'll do that in the legal world also. Go to, we hope he becomes a partner very soon under his Nishant sir's guidance. So, like that, there are 500 coffee speakers in this 5 years journey. Subscribe, you get to learn a lot, and yeah, we are becoming like a coffee university. If you have any featured like Saksham, visit our website, the Emerging India Forum, or LinkedIn page, or connect with one of the coffee speakers to put in a word, and they definitely we would invite you to continue our coffee conversation. So take care.
Thank you.